Hello BookTube, this is Dario of Motley Reads. Welcome to my channel. It is 11:20 here in Sweden. In 40 minutes it's going to be 1st of June. In June is Pride Month here on YouTube, where we read books written by or about members of the LGBT community, or LGBT plus, or however we call members of a community that is not conventional heterosexual orientation. The purpose of the Pride Month of BookTube, and it is the same as the purpose of the Pride movement, is to highlight the LGBT community and to advance the struggle for equal opportunities in our society. Now, I'm living in Sweden, and Sweden is probably, if not the most tolerant, it is one of the most tolerant countries in the world when it comes to equal rights in every domain, when it comes to sexuality, when it comes to the ethnicity, and so on. And here in Sweden, pride is really something that has become a part of the everyday life. It's of course, June is a Pride Month, but we do have very much exposure for the LGBT culture around the year. Here, still, even in Sweden, we need to continue highlighting the LGBT situation. And now, why is this? The reason for this is since there is a growing awareness of LGBT issues, and there is also a growing number of people who dare actually to reveal their identity as LGBT. There is also growing resistance in some part of our community that is not negligible. Actually, it is quite a lot of people that are resisting here. And then you can ask yourself, what are they resisting? Resistance against what? There is a certain resistance to how to say what they say, normalization of gay culture, because a normalization of gay culture would mean that we would teach our children to become gay. God forbid. First of all, you can ask yourself, what is so bad about being gay? Second of all, can you really teach somebody to become gay? All of that is, of course, a lot of nonsense. But there is actually a growing number of people that you can see on social media and even in society who are seriously opposing advancement of LGBT rights with this type of argumentation. And you can see this as ignorance and whatnot, but it can definitely not be ignored, because this is really a hurdle to further advancement of the LGBT movement. Now, I'm obviously a white man. I'm a heterosexual white man in the middle age. I'm 46 years old. I'm a Slavic guy. So with that demographic characteristic of mine, you could say that I'm exactly on the opposite side of spectrum from say black Dutch gay teenager. And this is this group that I'm a part of demographically is quite a large group in in Europe, and I would say that, you know, Balkans, where I'm coming from, it's a pretty intolerant place when it comes to gay movement. It is a culture of machoism. It is very much around the traditional values, especially in the Serbian part. It is very much about this Orthodox Christianity, very much of rhetorics against gay movement that is, you know, it is like a script written in Russia that you get, you know, through all these different propaganda channels. So it is very, very strong movement, and I can see this movement because my demographics is there. I'm getting all this information, all these sentiments through my social media channels, through Facebook, through Instagram, through YouTube. I can see it everywhere because I'm profiled like that, because the people that I have in my social network are of the same, have the same demographic characteristics. So I see things that people on the opposite side of the spectrum don't see in their social media streams, because social media is filtered related to the demographics. So what I can see is, I can see this, you know, growing, raging resistance against advancement of LGBT and what they call gay propaganda. So you can see that this is quite an issue. These guys, they are typically guys very, very angry. A pride parade in Belgrade, for instance, they cannot be held. If they are held, then there are more police that are protecting participants in the parade than there are people that are actually participating in the parade. It is extremely difficult situation. These guys are getting more and more angry, and what the gay movement is LGBT movement is responding with is trying to basically talk sense to them, trying to explain why there should be you know, equal rights, why the gay culture should be visible. And when they don't succeed through rational argumentation, then basically, you know, you get the parade, then you get, you know, basically more you know, naked skin and dildos and so on and so forth, which is even further outraging and alienating these opponents, so to say. So in order to really get advancement of the gay movement, an effort has to be made to win minds of the opponents through winning their hearts. And why is that necessary? That is really necessary because this group of people who are opposing advancement of LGBT rights, that it's a growing group in most of the European countries. You know, it's you can correlate, you know, this group with the size of conservative political movements, which in most of the countries like 20, 30, 40% of the population. So it is quite a large group that is very much, you know, opposing advancement of LGBT rights with lots of, you know, these, to you it might sound like nonsensical arguments, but still there are arguments that need to be met, and they can be met only through winning hearts. And winning hearts you do through making sure that first of all people can identify that is not something, you know, they can never identify with something alien. You need to come close, and you need to really show that, for instance, gay love is as pure and as real and as legitimate as any kind of, you know, heterosexual love. To show that everyday life in a LGBT family is like everyday life in any other family. Create this identification. When you create identification, you can get in sympathy, and then you can get normalization. And the only way to get there, as I see it, is not, you know, through political decisions, but it is through cultural consumption. So in this cultural consumption have to be, it had to be easy to consume, and you need to utilize lots of different media. And but when I start thinking about this, and it was when I learned about the June as a Pride Month on BookTube. I was thinking about, okay, which books should I read? And then I realized, but my God, I really didn't read anything that could fit in the objective of the whole thing. So it's a really good occasion for me to do some readings. I found 3 books that I will present to you now, but then I also thought that, okay, books are not the only way of cultural consumption that could be applied here. There are other things, and I've been consuming other type of cultural events that are relevant in here. So I was thinking about what type of cultural consumption could be relevant here, and I was thinking about one particular TV series, a Norwegian TV series called Scam. It's a shame in English, and it's really a teenager show. It was meant that for 15 years old. Basically, it's like a high school show about the relations between youth, but it became extremely popular in all of Scandinavia. Among all generations. A lot of people my generation were talking about it, watching this series, because it was so very well done. There were several seasons, and I think in season number 2 or 3, I think it was number 2, the theme was a love story between 2 gay boys, and I would say that was the most profound love story I've ever seen in my life. It was so beautiful, so fantastic. And then I thought, okay, more of this. You need to show more of this in order to win hearts. Unfortunately, I don't think that Scam is available in English. I was looking for it. I couldn't find it. I saw that they were not even allowed to translate it into English because of the music rights. Yeah, typically always money involved, of course. Unfortunately for Scandinavian viewers, I'm sure most of you know it. And then another cultural consumption that is relevant here, I can actually leave a couple of links below. There is one Norwegian artist, Norwegian singer, Marie Ulven. She's known under her artist name, Girl in Red. She's gay, and her music. She's a singer-songwriter. Her music is about her life, very much about gay love, and it's fantastic music, really great music. I just happened to stumble over it when I was, I learned about Marie Ulven and Girl in Red from my daughter. She, like most of the conscious Scandinavian kids, they are, they are following this, and she was to go to Girl in Red concert, but because she's underage, guardian has to follow, and she asked me, Dad, could you please go with me? So we went to this club in Stockholm. It was really a small concert. We were totally 150 people perhaps, most of them in their 20s, some kids like my daughter, she's 15 years old, and then some parents there, and it was a fantastic show. Great music. I will leave 2 links below, 2 songs of Marie Ulven, so please see it. It's really good music, and I really want more people to see it, because we were only just 150 people, and for that fantastic music that she is doing, and the great work that she is doing, she needs to be seen by more, and I really wish her to become rich and world famous, and spread her gospel around the world. I think that would advance the movement. So please click on the links below. Now, from Girl in Red to the books that I've chosen. So there are 3 books. First book here is, I think that it's not really unexpected. It's Maurice, Ian Forster. This is a novel that is written 1913 and finished in 1914. It's a classic in a genre about Maurice Hall, that is coming from the economically independent family, and he went to Cambridge and then start working at his father's company. The whole life is in front of him, but there is one problem: Maurice is homosexual. So this is set, in the beginning. I think it's like a campus novel, and then it is evolving, and I really like campus novels. That's really down my alley. So I think that I will like the feel in this one, and I've heard very much good about it. And also Brian of the booktube channel Bookish is reading it this month, and I'm really looking forward to hear Brian's thoughts about it, and of course looking forward to reading it. So Maurice is my first pick. My second pick, it's Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. And this book is written in, I think it's 1955 that James Baldwin wrote it. No, 1956. And it is about David, a young American in 1950s Paris, is waiting for his fiancée to return from vacation in Spain. But when he meets Giovanni, a handsome Italian barman, the two men are drawn into an intense affair. After 3 months, David's fiancée returns, and denying his true nature, David rejects Giovanni for a safe future as a married man. His decision eventually brings tragedy. And James Baldwin is a fantastic writer. I read several things by him. I really love his writing. This book awoke outrage when it was published back in 50s. So you can imagine, the society of 50s when it comes to many things, homosexuality, and also an African American being so outspoken as James Baldwin was. And the thing is here, an African American, James Baldwin, wrote a book about a gay white guy from the perspective of a gay white guy. So it was really big thing, and I'm sure that this is written in his fantastic style. So I'm really also looking forward to this. And one thing that I also like, this campus novel-ish thing. Here, 1950s Paris. I love everything that is between 1930 to 1960, France, Italy. That's my indulgence. I really love that setting. So this is perfect. Down my alley, this one as well. Okay, and then the third book is of the newer date. Is 2017 novel by Andrew Sean Greer, Less. It's called Less, and it is winner of the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction 2018. And this book here is about Arthur Less, who is a failed novelist about to turn 50. A wedding invitation arrives in the post. It's from an ex-boyfriend of 9 years who is engaged to someone else. Arthur can't say yes. It would be too awkward. He can't say no. It would look like defeat. So he begins to accept the invitation on his desk to half-baked literary events around the world. From France to India, Germany to Japan, Arthur almost falls in love, almost falls to his death, and puts miles between him and the plight he refuses to face. Less is a novel about mishaps, misunderstandings, and the depths of the human heart. Here again, literary events, with the around the world, with the novelist traveling around. Also, again, a theme that is also right down my alley. I really like that theme, and I don't know, all the books that are winning different prizes. It doesn't really need to mean that it's a great book. I'm having, lots of expectation because I heard through different channels that this is a great book. And we got this book. We bought it in London in summer 2018, and we are buying books in lots of different bookstores. And this book we acquired in Waterstone flagship store on Piccadilly. It's like 5 stories bookshop, allegedly largest in Europe. I don't know about that because I think that there is there's this Blackwell's in Oxford who looks to me larger, but this one is in London, so it has to be larger probably. It's fantastic bookstore now, you know, it's really, really good offer there. And then there is this guy in the cash register. Is typically on the second floor where fiction is, so he always comments books you are buying. So you come there, and if he likes books, if it's something, you know, by Thomas Hardy or Yates or you know, these kinds of writers, he would say, yeah, good, and, you know, oh, this one, good, oh, I like. But when you come with business books, like I often come in, you know, just £50. He was there. We bought, you know, lots of books, and then he pulled out this book and said, "This book I liked very much. I could recommend this." And of course, you know, when a guy like that recommends something, you just buy. So we bought this one, and so I'm trusting in him. So I believe that this one is going to be good. So 3 books, you know, with contexts that are, you know, really something I like, and with the same red thread. So I will be checking in with this. I don't know if I'm gonna film 3 different videos, or if I'm gonna put it in the same video. I will do whatever I feel for. I really hope that some of you are also reading these books. I know that, again, that Brian is reading this one, and I would really, really look forward to have a conversation about these books. So until then, see you.